Hello, this is Mr. Adv A.S.Khan from Pune, Maharashtra State, India. This is second video on income tax disputes from income from house property or income tax dispute on house property income and Supreme Court judgment on it. So let us discuss second judgment of Supreme Court on this income from house property. So please note down what you call appeal details. Appeal number is 1184, year is 1981. Then date of decision is 18th August 18th August 1981. Then ITR details. Year 1981, volume 131 and page number 435. I would repeat. Appeal number 1184, year 1981. Date of decision 18th August 1981. ITR details, year 1981, volume 131, page number 435. So facts of the case are like this. Here assessee is in appeal. He rented out his property on rent basis and he was receiving a rental income every month. After the close of the financial year, he submitted his return and showed the what you call rental income equal to annual rental income equal to the standard the amount of standard rent. He has shown in the income tax return not the amount actually received by him from the tenant, but the amount of standard rent in the income tax return for the year. Like this he has shown standard rent and not the actual rent. And what assessing officer has done, he has assessed his income, this rental income, equal to what you call actual amount of rent received or receivable by him, and not he has not considered the standard value of standard rent as the rental income. And reason for assessing in this fashion, what is the reason he has given? So this what you call section 22-23 tell that the rental income should be taken into account equal to the amount of actual rent received. Like this he made the interpretation of section 22-23 and what you call all this 23, 22, 23, 24 and up to 26. Considering all these things, this is his interpretation. The actual amount of rent to be taken, that is the reason he has given for assessing the his return in this fashion, in this particular fashion. Now a dispute is like this. As we have seen, assessing officer has assessed the income equal to the amount of actual rent received. This is the dispute. And he what is the reason for this? Just now we have discussed section 22-23 tells the amount of actual rent received to be taken into account for tax purpose. And assessee, what is assessee's stand? He says that my building is located in the area where Rent Control Act is in operation, so standard rent to be included in the what you call in my total income and not the amount actually received. That is the nature of dispute. Revenue or department take the stand, actual amount of rent to be taken into account for tax purpose, and the stand of the assessee is like this. My building is located in the area where Rent Control Act is applicable, hence only standard rate per month into 12 to be taken into account for tax purpose. That is the dispute, nature of dispute. And what is the what you call question of law? Question of law is also rather rules on this fact only, on this dispute only, whether whether actual rent or standard rent to be taken into account for tax purpose. That is the question of law, whether standard rent or actual rent received to be taken into account for tax purpose. That is the question of law before Supreme Court. And what is their answer to this question of law? Their answer is standard rent to be taken into account for tax purpose. Standard rent to be taken into account for tax purpose. And the justification, grounds or reason are like this. First ground or justification, annual value, income from house property is tax on annual value of the property. Remember this, section 23. This this income from house property is taxable under section 23. That is on the basis of annual value of the property. And annual value of the property means the what you call rent, that the rent for which this property can be or may be given on rent. The annual value means the property, the amount of rent for which the property can be given on rent or actual rent received, like this. So this is annual value of the property, and on that property tax is taken. So first reason they have given this section 22-23, which is talks about what you call the talk about annual value. That doesn't mean actual amount of rent received. It cannot be interpreted that way. Then second point they have given, it is the what you call reasonable amount for which second supporting reason. The second supporting reason runs like this. It is reasonable amount for which owner can let out his property. The second supporting reason is like this. This annual value is reasonable amount for which owner can let out his property. This is second supporting reason. And in this case, Supreme Court has said, in this case, he can let out for rent not more than the standard rent, because standard rent control act is in operation or is in force in that area where his property is located, assessed property is located. That is why they have said. So here in this case, as per their decision, the supporting reason is that the property, the owner can sublet for reasonable amount, and in this particular case, the reasonable amount for which the owner can whatever let out his property is standard rent only. Beyond that, nothing. And further, they have said where, that is same thing. Wherever this rent control act is in what you call in operation, there the owner cannot charge rent more than what is given in the rent control act. This is third reason. And last reason, they say where when when landlord or owner gives the property on rent to what you call tenant, and that property is located in the what you call this area where the rent control act is applicable. In that situation, and suppose standard rent, that controller of rent under that act, particular act, rent control act, he has not fixed the what you call standard rent when the owner has given the property on rent. Then in that situation, Supreme Court has said to the department, to the revenue or to the assessing officer, you fix the standard rent. And how to fix the standard rent? That formula, principle, method, everything is given in the Rent Control Act. And in this particular case, in fact, Supreme Court has fixed the standard rent. If you read this judgment carefully, there you would find Supreme Court has worked out the standard rate. So that is why they have said in the judgment, or supporting reason, when at the time when the owner has given the property on rent, and Rent Control Act is in force in that particular area, and controller of rent has not fixed the standard rate rent at that time, relevant time, then assessing officer should fix the whatever standard rent as per the formula, principle or method given in the respective Rent Control Act. This is the what you call supporting reasons. They are the supporting reasons. I think you will find this judgment interesting. Okay, so these are the two big video that big, not very big, but they are the two independent videos on these disputes on house property income. So in the next video, I would prepare one video, and that video would contain 3 disputes and decisions. Okay. Okay, thank you very much for watching this video.